What's going on? Come, there is nothing. Are we on or are we not on? I think we on. I just cannot see it. Yeah, we on. Oh, thank you. Okay, so we just got on. Hallelujah. I want to give God thanks for another time on a platform again with Great Way Finances. I'm coming to talk to you about money matters, about the thing that matters a lot to us, and sometimes we take the little things for granted. Yesterday I was speaking to a mother that says that she never thought that she had to have insurance for her children at an early age. And I asked her why. She says, because I heard you and a fellow by the name of Timothy was speaking, and you said, if they didn't do it for us, we should always want to do it for our children, because the Bible says, unto the third and fourth generation, that will be cursed. And they would not be cursed because of what they do, they'll be cursed because of us, the adults, who go and have children, and we should try to do good with God so He can bless us with good life so we can walk to support our children. And because we walk in ignorance and choose not to understand the Word of God, because the Word of God says, without knowledge will perish. And so a lot of us as parents is going to perish because we're choosing not to live a biblical life or even a regular life. Everything that is regular is biblical, because if you go into the common world and they will tell you don't trust God, but on the other hand they do things that they can trust the buildings. They trust the steel beam that they put up in the building that are going to take them through to the 15 and 16 floors. So as we learn all these things, let us learn to invest for our children or our grandchildren. So if your children is already big, put something aside for your grandchildren, because the 50 cents that you put away today could be $1.50 tomorrow. Okay? So I told the person they need to talk to Timothy. Call him and he will tell you a little bit more. I could only tell you just a synopsis of everything. The in-depths, I don't know. But the knowledge that I get is just to tell you about the synopsis, and then them will go into depth. You see, I'm not a depth person in finances. Hence the reason why we have Timothy here. So now I'll turn over to Timothy and he will take the stage from here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm so motivated by your evangelism on finance, and especially honestly, Ms. Texman Warren, I must be very sincere with you. Sometimes when we don't worry about ourselves, honestly, I don't really take it serious, because a lot of people think, we are taking decisions today that we want to take, right? Decisions we want to take today for ourselves. We are taking them because we have both the physical, the psychological, the mental ability to take that. But unfortunately for our kids, we have to do something more for them because they don't have the same power we have today. So honestly, a lot of things that we may overlook for ourselves, I think we have established it biblically, and also it has been proven even in terms of the ability to bring a generation that will or let me put it this way, anybody that wants to have a greater generation, that wants their children to be better than they are, then they need to do all most of these things that we're saying. And guess what? What we are talking about isn't even life insurance for your kids. What we are talking about is investment for your kids. But the way you invest it is what matters, right? Do you want to go and invest in, for example, in the stock market where you can lose the whole of your money, right? For example, or you want to put it in a place that will serve so many purposes, right? Will be a tree. If you have a tree, don't forget, if you have a tree, the tree will be there. The tree will grow for over years. You can take fruit away from the tree, and the tree will never die. Okay, so those are the things, and the tree is still there, right? The tree can be like a real estate investment whereby you are taking the money out. You see how it works, right? You are taking the money out, but the house is still there, and you are not paying taxes. So those are the things that we do to encourage you, to educate us on how we can invest for our kids, right? And we are still going to go back, especially on kids, very soon, and talk about all that.
Yeah, if I'm sometime too. Yeah, if you because I was thinking and I'm saying, oh my God, we don't know when our numbers is gonna call, yeah, to go home. So you think that we live in this life out and we're getting older. Sometimes it's not our children that look after us, it's our grandchildren. Because
Yeah.
if you go to a field of nursing, people your age is not there. It's the younger ones. So it doesn't have to be your God-given child. It could be somebody else. Just sponsor me. It's okay.
That is true.
Because at least you're leaving a legacy so they could talk about you and, oh my God, you know that lady who was living 50 years ago? She who blessed me, so now I can bless my children. Let us do what we got to do for our children.
Absolutely.
Please.
Yeah, I think absolutely there's no any way, there's no any other better way to put it, honestly. I think in my adage, there's a saying that says that I don't even know where it comes from, but it says that a short word is enough for the wise, or something like that. So exactly. So it simply means that there's no any other better way. Please, let's contact us. We are not going to tell you that you must do this for your kid, but we are going to expose you to what you may or should be doing, right, in the near future, and as soon as possible, right? So thank you very much, Tex, for that wonderful opening. It's always highly motivating to get on the show with you, with those word of encouragement to our people. A good man leaves inheritance for his children's children. That was in Proverbs 13:22. Please always think about what you want to leave behind as a legacy, okay? Because the Bible says that by so doing, you will be a good man, okay? And don't forget, in Hosea as well, Hosea 4, chapter 4, verse 6, we have seen that we perish. The Bible says, "My people perish for lack, because they don't have lack of knowledge. They rejected knowledge." That is even what some people version says. Yeah, that is National NIV. So I love that translation very well. It says, "Because they have rejected knowledge," which is true, right? Because a lot of us have the opportunity to listen to so many things, but we don't take it as a grain of salt. We just take it as a grain of salt. We don't really work on it because we think that because of our current situation, we can't do that much, or we even just need to take care of ourselves, and the children will, they will taken care of. They will sort themselves out. In financial literacy in Canada, there's one thing we talked about, when we are educating families, right? And what we explained to them is there is no child, basically, or most child in Canada today have some benefit from the government. Okay, and let's just be clear with that. Those benefits are for helping us, and the government recognizing, that's what it is, recognizing that we are making a lot of efforts to bring out the children. And those gifts that we are getting from the government, we are not even saying that you should spend them on the children, everything. But if you get, some people have 3 kids, some people have 2 kids. If you get 800, 1,000, for example, and this is real analysis, you don't need to invest more than 20% of that money and spend the rest. Guess what? If you do just that, you will make a big difference in the life of those children. So what we have found is that maybe sometimes it's just that we are rejecting the knowledge, but even some little steps, some little that's fine, sorry, some smaller steps can make a lot of difference, right? And it's always good to share all those things with our audience and those people who want to meet with us one-on-one. Anyway, once again, my name is Timothy, and this is our Great Way Financial educational campaign show on Gemfm. We have this great show every Tuesday and Friday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. You don't want to miss it, because everything we are sharing with you here is going to have a meaningful effect if you can put a lot of them into action. As a financial educator and also a professional in my field of endeavors, I have confirmed it myself that we hardly use 10% of our potential. And this is what the statistics says, that each of us, we have hardly used 10% of the capability that God gave us to do things. We hardly use up to 10%. So if that statistic is to be correct, then I used to think that probably, I don't think I've even used 1%, right, of those capabilities. But guess what? We can definitely do more, right, if we devote our time, if we devote ourselves into education. We will be liberated, right? So that is our vision, the vision of Gemfm, and I know that God will help us, God will give us wisdom. So again, we are financial educators and independent advisors. So of course, we do provide brokering services with different financial institutions. You will see that we can recommend them to you, but we don't have, we are not tied to any of them. We are not committed to any of them. We just go our own. We tell you what you need to do, and if you decide to take something that will be beneficial to you, you are going to be the one that will realize most of the benefit, right? So, and that is our mission, right? To educate families and to make sure that they have the best future that they can have. And I know that God will help you. God will give you the wisdom to listen and take action. In Jesus' name. Also, before I start, I like to recognize, I like to recognize what is going on in the world. There's a lot of unrest in the world due to some different things happening. The reason why we are mentioning that is just to let you know that we are looking into this world every day, and we are saying that we need to make a lot of decisions. And one of them is to make sure that we do what we need to do, right, at the right time. Time is very, very important. Let's do what we need to do at the right time. As we say, as they used to say, we don't play joke with kids, right? It's a normal common saying. So let's take care of our families, and God will help us. God will bless us.
Yeah.
In this month of March, we have been talking about real estate. And the reason why we have been talking about real estate is that real estate is a very important topic in today's financial literacy world. And real estate has been proven to uh, build as a vehicle that you can use to build legacy. Okay, now let's come out straight. Real estate is not necessarily a vehicle to build a financial foundation. Why? Because if you want to buy a good house today, for example, you probably may need 1 million, of course, to do that. And not so many people have that amount of money, right? However, you can achieve it, but that may not be your starting point. That may not be the foundation. Okay. But having said that, real estate is a good investment vehicle to build wealth and to build and to strengthen, and solidify the financial prosperity of our family, right? So we started talking about real estate in general in the past weeks, and we have mentioned a couple of very important things. For example, we said everybody can invest in real estate. You can do it if you make up your mind. Somebody might tell you you can buy a house, you can invest in real estate without having money. The answer is yes and no. It is yes, because yes, you can invest in real estate, you don't have money, but it is no, because you still need money. So you need to get that money from somewhere. Okay. We will maybe talking about all those options where you can get the money. Of course, we'll talk about them. Of course, one of them is the bank. If you go and get the money from the bank, and you can use it to buy the investment based on what we call leverage. Okay, so real estate has a lot of leverage. We just mentioned real estate can help you to build long-term investment and wealth for your generation. We also look at the last week that real estate is a little bit in a medium risk investment, is in between high risk and low risk. And so it has been proven over the years to be a very important financial strategy for families. We also talked about a lot of statistics, right? Like why you should be investing in real estate, because your income levels compared to how the real estate market is, the cost of real estate is going, cannot be compared in any way. So if you are not owning real estate today, said it, your children will need to buy corn houses in millions. There's no way we can do it. They need to buy it, and you need to do something. We are talking about the next 20 years, 15 years. There's no way. We need to take care of them, right? And finally, there was when we started talking about how do you start investing in real estate, one of the important things we mentioned was real estate investing is actually very simple in terms of what you need to do, but it is not an easy thing to do. Okay. And that is why you need to know all what your options are. You need to work with the right profession to take the best decision. All right, so I would like to share now, and I would like to continue on the path of the real estate investment. We told you at the end of this real estate investment rollout, we will tell you exactly for each person, the scenario that you have to go into real estate. Right? We'll get there for sure, but we will start today from the main part two of our real estate investing discussion. And what we want to talk about is details about the practical benefits of investing in real estate and how you can start thinking about starting. So again, as our usual notification about the purpose of our presentation, it is a very highly educated and presentation. It is just one, the aim is to give us an understanding about diverse financial concept, investment, real estate, and so many things that has to do with wealth building, but it is just an educational session, and it is meant to give us 45 hours with the information so that we understand any decision we are taking. Okay, our motivation remains the same, right? Canadians are going to face a lot of challenges, even now and in the future. It's not saying it in the wrong way. It's because of that is the exact situation, but we want our families to be better. So that is why, what do we want to do? We want to change the statistics, whether currently or in the future. We want to put our money where it will make the most impact. Okay. And a lot of people say, well, Canada is still better than here. Well, it's true, but is it not ironic that we live in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, right? Canada is one of the best countries that people want to live in the world today. But the truth is that we always have money problem. Okay, a lot of Canadians. Money problem doesn't mean that you cannot feed, doesn't mean that you don't have a house, doesn't mean that you don't have a car, but you are not financially free. That's what it means, right? And on top of that, why is there any concern about living in the wealthiest country? It's because of, if we work all through our lives and we make a lot of money and we spend everything and we spend most of it without planning for the future, then we may retire without having enough money to sustain us. Okay. We raise our kids, we send them to school, and they won't go and collect USAP, but we don't know that we are putting them in debt. Can you imagine? And we are in the wealthiest country, so we don't know that we are putting them in debt. But even back in my own country, when I went to school, I didn't work from my first day at school at kindergarten to the day I graduated from the university, and I didn't have a $1 debt, right? Even though my parents sacrificed everything, right, to send me to school, but there was no debt, right? So debt can become a way of life here, and that is why we need to be cognizant. So let's talk quickly more about the benefit and types of real estate investing. What are the pros and cons? Why we want to talk about it is that a lot of people, we have been talking about real estate, and everybody knows that, yeah, it's good, but let's talk about some of the different types and what are the pros and cons before we now tell you what you should be doing in your scenario, depending on your scenario. Okay. Again, I want to emphasize that when you are investing in real estate, you should understand what your risk appetite are. What can you do? What can you lose? Or what are the different amount of how long you can keep your money in the investment, okay? Because it is mostly type of a long-term investment to get the best out of it. All right, so let's talk about some benefits. We talked about some of the good things about real estate because it provides well-being, but let's look at the practicalities, the actual benefits. Number one, you can make money if you invest in real estate by getting some cash flow. So which means that you have a rental income. Okay, so you can buy a house. When you buy a house, you put somebody renting there. And then when they pay the rent, you remove the expenses, which are the taxes, insurance, management, maintenance, all those things. And then the rest is your cash flow, right? It can be like a salary to you. It can be something that you want to reinvest and so on and so forth. Okay, why is this very interesting? The reason is that the fundamental of real estate in Canada, if you have not heard this before, one of the fundamental of real estate is that people are going to come into this country and they will need a place to sleep. That is the fundamental. So it's growth. Okay, so it's growth. They will need houses more because there are not even enough houses for those people who are in today to buy, but they need houses more because they have a calculated number of people that have to come in. And I believe coming to the year 2024, Canada is expected to bring up to 3 million people into Canada, and a vast lot of them will be in this region, a very huge percentage of them. Okay, I think Ontario is maybe close to maybe 20 million now, and Ontario has maybe 40 to 50% of the population of Canada. So appreciation, what does appreciation mean? One of the benefits of investing in real estate is that when you buy your house, based on the location, based on the development you do in the house, and based on the improvement, the house will continue to increase in value. So if you buy a house in 2009 for $500,000, as I am speaking to you, your house may have worth $1 million. If you want to know exactly what your house or what your home worth, please feel free to send us a message and we will be able to put you in the right direction. Okay. All right. So leverage. One of the benefits of investing in real estate, we said, is leverage. And everybody know, oh, I need leverage, our children need to leverage us, and so on and so forth. But this is one of the most powerful way to explain leverage. Okay. If you want to go and buy a stock today, a lot of people want to buy stock, a lot of people want to buy that is stock of the company. A lot of people want to buy different investments, mutual funds, and all stuff like that. But one thing you need to know is that if you want to go and buy a stock of $1,000, you need $1,000 to invest in that money and you leave it there. But if you want to buy a real estate, if you have $1,000, okay, you can buy a house of $5,000, for example. So if you look at the big picture, if you have even $50,000, right, you can buy a house of $500,000. So that's a lot of leverage. So leverage is the key word. Leverage real estate to your advantage. Okay. There are also some tax advantages of investing in real estate. A lot of people don't know. When you have real estate, you can deduct some expense directly from operation of that real estate and management of that real estate, right? Like your property taxes, your property insurance, your interest on mortgage, your property management fees, cost to maintain and repair your building, the depreciation cost of your house. You can take a lot of money. So a lot of people don't know that if you have a property and you are renting it out, is an investment and you can get tax advantage from it. What does tax advantage mean? That you can be claiming tax deductible from that money, and you might even be getting some money back from the government in case you don't make enough money on that investment. So you are on a win-win. If you make a lot of money, you can still you may still have to pay the government a little bit of money, or money as depending on your expenses, right? So, but do you know that you can also write off much of that what you pay to run your real estate business? Absolutely, yes. And we can tell you a lot of that. How can you do that? Advertise, you know. There was a time a friend of mine was wanted to do an advertisement for their house, and I said, hey, we're gonna do that advertisement and we are going to do it on Facebook. We're gonna run an ad. And I said, oh my God, that will cost us money. I said, yes, that is because that money that is costing you is tax deductible, right? So office space, you can buy business equipment, you can buy computer, you know, business card, you can buy stationaries into your house, and they will count as expenses. So your real estate investment business. Legal and accounting fees. Okay, a lot of people don't know that you can decide to travel to the US and say, okay, I want to go and look at what US real estate look like as part of your investment. So there are several advantages, and if you want to know more, please get to us. It is very important that you have the right team when you're investing in real estate. Okay. Sometimes ago, I have a lot of people ask me that, what do you think that is the most important? What do you think that is the most important thing you should do if you want to be successful in real estate? And a lot of people think that most of the answer is, of course, be prepared financially. Of course, you need to be prepared financially because it will help you to take a lot of decisions. Financially means you might get a money that is your money, or somebody else's money to invest, or a group of people that you want to invest together. But I tell them that I think the most important step you should be taking is to find the right team when you are investing. That right team means that the people that you will be working with, it may even be other business partners. And why do I say that? The reason is that there are some disadvantages when you are working, doing real estate, that if you don't have the right education and the right people will put beside you, a lot of things can go wrong. But if you do have the right people beside you, a lot of things won't go wrong, because they will tell you the best way you can invest. For example, real estate is not liquid. Okay, so it's not something that you can rush in and get your money, you know, quickly, you know, within days. However, that doesn't still mean that there are no ways you can invest in money and make the investment more liquid. That is why you need expert. But in general, if you go and buy a house now and you want to sell it, you need maybe a month to prepare it to sell. Then you need, when somebody wants to come and buy it, that person may also tell you that I need 2 months, which is standard for me to buy this house and go and look for the money and pay you your money, right? So let's look at it. We are looking at a lead time of 3 months, for example, on an average, for you to sell your house. So, and let's say that you need money end of the month, end of the month, that time, then this cannot be a good option for you, right? I mean, that will not meet your need, because real estate investment is, I wrote here, is best suited for long and mid-term investment. The reason why I believe mid-term investment is that there are so many strategies that can allow you to invest in real estate mid-term. All right, they might be declining in property values, but if you have the right people that you work with in real estate, they can tell you what you need to be doing to be making your home to appreciate even more and more. Okay, so we call it upgrade with return on investment in mind. There are some things, if you just do it to your house, right? Let me just give you a very, very simple example. A lot of people don't know. If you have stayed in your house for 3-5 years, for example, which is not a long time per se. It's one of the most common time, 3 to 5 years. And you woke up one day and you decided to paint that house. Okay? You decided to paint that house, just paint it alone. You may not know, but if somebody comes into that house, they will feel that, oh my God, this house is fresh, right? They will feel it's livable. They will feel very comfortable with the environment. Okay, so we can show you all that. The truth is that when interest rates fall or the economy weakens, the value of the real estate falls. But these are what the professional can tell you exactly what your case is. Real estate requires capital. There was a time somebody came to me and said, hey, I saw an advertisement. They said you can invest in real estate without any money, with $0. Is it true? I said, yes, it is true that you can invest in real estate without a $0 of yours, but you need that money from someone. During startup, keep in mind that other expenses and closing ongoing maintenance will surface. Management problem. One of the problems with real estate investment, if you are listening, is management. Okay, if you have a tenant that knows the law than you do, right, then they may want to give you a lot of problems, especially, listen, especially what I've found from experience is this. When you take a one step towards getting what you think is your right towards a tenant, they will take 10 steps in the other direction, right? So for example, there was a time somebody said, my landlord was threatening to send me out of the house because the person did something wrong. Maybe something was spoiled in the house. But unfortunately, when the person went to go and consult, they told the person, in fact, you can decide to do this, this, and this, and this, and your landlord will not be able to do anything. So you need to listen to the right advice. Finding tenants, you can see it here, is very important. Replacing and fixing things. You need people that can help you to take the right decision. What are other benefits? We have talked about cash flow. We have talked about the appreciation. So those are the important things we wanted to talk about today, about what we should be doing and how we should be managing our investments. Okay. So finally, let's look at this scenario for today. We have looked at the disadvantages. Let's go to the next slide. So after the disadvantages, we may want to look at real estate options. Okay. Since we still have some time, let's take a look quickly at real estate options. And the reason why this is very important, this education, is that there are so many ways you can, and so many types of products that you can explore in real estate. But a lot of people are wondering, should I invest in condos? Those high-rise condos in downtown? Well, you might be wondering, but investing in condo has been one of the very, very strategic way a lot of people are taking advantage, because you may be wondering who is buying all the condos in downtown, or who is the owner of this condo. Actually, they are investors, okay, that owns this large number of condos. And why do they invest in condos? Okay, number one is that it has some potential, but not very strong potential, but it has some potential to give them cash flow, especially if they got it at a price that was a great deal. Guess what? Yeah, and a lot of people, when they hear that, they laugh, because today, if you want to buy a condo in downtown, I know that if I say it here that maybe you may be getting it starting from even 750,000. I'm not exaggerating, right? There are condos of more than 1 million and so on in downtown. But guess what? There are some people who bought condos in 2010 for maybe less than 300,000. Okay. So those people now are actually renting that condo out based on the current rental rate. So there is a lot of opportunity for appreciation. Condos do appreciate a lot because of demand, high demand. Okay. A lot of people are moving back. Let me just put it this way. As COVID-19 goes, a lot of people are aligning to move back to go and live in the downtown cores where we have condo. There is generally less maintenance and repair. If you want to know more about all these things, we can explain to you. The reason is that this condo usually fall what we call a maintenance fee, right? So they take care of maybe the water, the light, the building environment, the cleaning of the environment. All those things are taken care of. Okay. What are the cons? Obligation and less flexibility on the rental tenancy act. So you may not have so many options when it comes to your rights, and the tenant, they can always take a lot of advantage. Works best as a long-term investment strategy, and that is one of the good things about condo. People buy it and leave it there forever. And I have been started, thinking, and I tell people this day, one of the reasons why you may consider investing in condos is that your children, okay, and we are going back to the children now. Your children may have to start with something small in a place whereby they want to grow their profession, right? They want to follow their dreams, right? And if you have those type of investment, it may be, you may have a leverage to give them that opportunity, okay? So we have some of the things we call income properties. Income property is any property that is an apartment, that can be rented out. And they are really, really common in Toronto and GTA. Okay. Example is student rental. A lot of people have homes that they rent out to students. Basement rental. Okay. A lot of people finish their basement and they rent it out. Single family and vacation homes and commercial. So vacation home is, a lot of people know where we have the riverine area, like the coast, like Muskoka and all those places. Niagara Falls. That's why when you go to Niagara Falls, you pay a lot of money when you rent a hotel, because they are vacation homes. You can use them as a vacation places, right? So what are the pros? Basement apartments can make a whole lot of difference. Basement apartment can make a whole lot of difference. What does this mean? If you have a basement today and you finish that basement and you rent it out for $1,000, I'm just giving it out. Basement is now $1,800, right? How much? 2,000. Oh my God. Okay, but guess what? Let me blow your mind. If you have a basement and you rent it out for 1,000, I don't want to use, and by the way, let me clarify something. When we give numbers on our presentation, on our education, we don't use the high number. So have you observed that? No, we don't do that. So when we say you can earn this amount, we don't give you the eye, we don't give you the hope that so that you will come tomorrow and say, hey, Timothy said that I can become a millionaire in 3 days. We don't do it. We use the less value because we want to educate. The most important thing is to give you the idea. Let me give you what we just want to say. Text. Half of what a basement, a good basement rent for. If you are renting your basement for $1,000, a tenant will pay you $12,000 in a year. In 20 years, do you know how much? So, guess what? That is why the person living in your basement technically can be paying your mortgage. Right? You will just be paying expenses, other things, of course, electricity and all that, but they could be paying your actual mortgage or your interest on your mortgage. That is a big thing, right? So it can make a whole lot of difference. Now calculate it if it is 2,000. Just imagine. So in 20 years, the person will have paid 440,000 to you. Just imagine. Higher appreciation than condo, yes. You know, a lot of single residential, they have some better appreciation, but it also depends on the location. We can tell you more. High rental demand. Okay. And there is always demand in rental. I don't
see what the rooms are so the condos that they're building now, the rooms are so small.
Yes. Do you know why? Do you know what a 500 square foot is? A 500 square foot is a very small space. And guess what? They will build a condo of 2 bedrooms in a 500 square foot.
Yeah.
And that is why, do you know why people prefer living in the basement? Because that basement you see, most of them are usually from 1,000 square feet. So that is why you see it's spacious, right? It has a well-sized room. It has good washrooms, and it has a space for you to use as a living room, and so on and so forth. But half of that is what you buy in the condo for 500 square foot. And guess what? Some of the condo cost you around from 1,500 per square foot. Per square foot.
That's crazy.
Right. So, and when you are renting that basement, for $2,000, if you divide $2,000 by 1,000, how much is that? That's look at how much you are paying for per square foot. So that makes a lot of difference. So, but there is always high tendency for cash flow. What does cash flow mean? Cash flow means that if you remove the amount you are getting as a rent, if you take the amount you are getting as a rent and subtract all your expenses, mortgage, insurance, utilities, everything from inside, then you will always get money, extra money in your pocket. Student rental can generate a high cash flow. Do you know why? We tell people about this. A lot of communities do this, actually, right? If you come, we can talk more about it. They buy a house, and guess what? They rent one room each to students. So imagine that I have a 5-bedroom house or a 4-bedroom, and I rent each room to students for $700.
Oh, you're making mortgage plus expense.
And yeah, again, so it could be very, very good investment. Okay. All right. What are the disadvantages of doing incorporation? As we are telling you the good thing, we are also telling you the things that you should do. Tenant disturbance. If you have for example, if you have a basement, you may be having some form of disturbance from your tenant. Let's say your tenant is somebody that plays music, for example. And then, there's a lot of landlord that if you want to repair, renovate, they don't pay, you need to know. But what if you have the right thing? What does this mean, having the right thing? A lot of landlord will say, my tenant has missed a payment, or they have not paid me my rent. What will I do? He's already late. That is a reactive approach. Okay. But to God be the glory, we have some people that were managing their property today, and they have never been in missed rent. And that is because we use a lot of relationship. Yes. you know, the way you treat people. And of course, most important, there's communication and what needs to be done, and you know how it is done, you know, and so on and so forth. You know, exit plan to sell may be difficult. Okay, we'll talk about exit plan if you come and talk to us any day at any time. Complexity with legalities of basement apartment. Okay, if your basement is illegal and the town comes around and they find it, the cost is usually very enormous. Okay, so you need to make sure that you meet all the codes, all the requirements. Okay, and so on and so forth. Let me talk about other cons here, and we will end here. Okay, what are the other cons you need to know? We talk about complexity with legal basement. We've talked about your interaction. If you are downstairs apartment, you may not cope with the noise. If you are upstairs, you may not cope with you know, their habits and so on and so forth. Okay, so make sure your business is legal, and you will have a wonderful experience, you know, owning a rental property. On Friday, we will continue and finish this subject. We will talk about flipping. A lot of people say, flipping. What exactly does it mean? How you can use it as one of your real estate strategies. We're going to continue on that next week. But sincerely, we just want to, you know, talk about these things, lay all the foundations before we move into the practicalities of what you should be doing to start investing in real estate. Okay, so thank you very much. God bless you.
Too, because when you're if you have a legal person here, you could bring them on, because some people really take advantage of people. Once they find out that the basement is not a legal registered place, they will stay there for years, and they'll take you to courts back and forth, and they wouldn't move out. It's not legal, leave and go, but they wouldn't. They will stay there for years.
Yes, that is true. Yes. So that is why, don't forget, I said, if you are interested in investing in real estate or you want to know more, the first most important step is get the right team. And that is what we help you to do as well. Okay. So at some point, yeah, we may want to bring you know, some of these professionals, you know, especially if we get a response from the house. If with a lot of people demanding, if we get your chart and demands, yes, of course, we may show somebody and say, hey, see, these people need your education, and we'll get somebody on board to talk to us about it. Okay, but again, these are really, really good information, you know, very educative. At least you have an idea of a wide knowledge of what it entails to go into.
Because sometimes you hear they advertise no money down and you can get a house and you can, but then when you get into it, you realize you have to have money for the closing, and that's where a lot of people stumble. Well, it says no money down, so why do I have to come up with 5,000? Yeah, that's a lawyer fees and the closing. Those are added. So those are things that
absolutely, yes. So that is exactly what we mean. Why we say that real estate investment is capital required. Because even if you get a house, they say, okay, we are going to give you, you don't need to pay any money. When you want to close, you need to pay government. That is the problem. And what do you need to close? You need to pay what we call a land transfer taxes. You know, there is always taxes. Always. You know, there's always something.
I can't get rid of that.
Right. So, and it's very, very serious, right? If you don't pay your property taxes, for example, the government can take away your house.
Mm-hmm.
You can take away your house and sell it.
Or you could even tie your land tax in the mortgage, so it come out every how much months you get.
Yeah, how do you know that?
250 something. I was the
Okay,
owner of a property.
okay, okay. So yeah,
Before
so what they do is if you're, okay, very, very intelligent statement. So let's say you are not paying your property taxes. This is how it happens. This is the logic behind it. And you borrowed money from the bank, right? You borrowed money from the bank. You had a mortgage and you are not paying your taxes. So the government will try to do one thing. They will try to reach out to the people that have interest in your house. So it's like a lien. They call it a lien because those people, you can't do anything in the house. Why do you think that you borrow money from the bank, you buy the house, and when you want to sell it, you can't sell it without them knowing? Because there's a lien on the house. They know, even though they will just leave you, but they know. So the bank and the government will go and meet those people and tell them that your friend is not paying our due taxes. We will sell the house. Of course, the bank will tell them, never, don't sell the house. Send the bill to us. Okay. So, and this usually happens when it has really accumulated a lot, Guess what? The bank will immediately pay them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the government is there's no any there's no any going back, there's no any way you can settle them. You have to pay them, And that is why there's almost no government service that you get and then pay later, even though as much as government is nice, right? They get their money first.
Oh yeah, and even if you sell the house at closing, the bank would hold on to that lien, and you got to pay the lien before you can close it.
Yes. Sometimes they
So
will
the
call
person
you.
come,
Yeah.
the person agree, the person say, okay, yeah, I'll purchase it, but then this device grip is still there on. It can't do nothing.
Yes, you are right. Sometimes they will decide to start adding the money to your payments.
Yeah.
As a punishment. If they don't have, yes, if they can't do that, they will keep the money and they will remove the money as well with interest. Don't forget, with interest when you sell the house.
Yep.
So all those things are really,
It's so important to know.
Okay, we thank God and thanks again for the opportunity. And I do wish you a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful week.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
So we'll talk again. Thank you everyone for coming on today from Great Way Finances. And we have Doris here saying hi.
Hi.
And we have so much more people. I think we have 70 something people shared today.
Okay. Wonderful.
60. So 67 people shared today. Okay. This is great. All right. Yeah, going out now. So we give God praise and thanks, and we want to say thank you again and goodbye. This is Techman Warren on Gemfm with Great Way Finances. Bye now.
Bye for now.